Stepping from our ordinary world into the fantastical, Immersive XP explores the weird and wonderful imaginations behind a diverse range of themed experiences. From virtual reality to escape rooms to live-action roleplay, nothing is off the table. We'll take a deep dive into what makes these adventures worth attending and which ones to avoid. Join me on a journey to explore the extraordinary and meet the people who make dreams a reality. Hello, I'm Taylor Sport, your non-binary host based in Southern California. Seamstress by trade, silly little guy by trauma. Favorite video game? Portal.
Lovely choice.
Fun fact of the week. Escape rooms have become a go-to activity in the US to prove you're smarter than your friends. And that is also the worst place to have a first date. The first official escape room in the US opened in 2012, and now we have over 3,000 across the states. It is estimated that more than 200 will open every year. It really does go to show you that we're more similar to cats than you think. We all enjoy being in a box. During quarantine, I played a lot of two things. Animal Crossing, to live out my fantasy of owning a home and being friends with talking animals. And escape rooms, to live out my fantasy of being able to leave my apartment. This week's episode is a homebrew. Who says you need to go outside to have a good time? A homebrew is anything that can be done from home, such as a murder mystery party, themed parties, tabletop role-playing, and so on. This week, I chose to play some computer games from a small indie company called Mc2Games. These games are made in Spain by a brother and sister and have a few other small members that come and go for puzzles and voice acting. Together, they have released 5 escape rooms since their humble beginning in the summer of 2020. I purchased a bundle of 5 of their games and played all of them within a few days, actually. When getting into the escape room mood, I try to dim down the lights in my bedroom, have a coffee in hand, with a pen and notepad on the desk. I also immerse myself in that puzzle mindset. I also try not to leave my room until the game is finished. The first one in their bundle is called Palindrome Syndrome, which is a tongue twister, let me tell ya. This released in October 2020, and it takes about 3 hours to play if you're not cheating. So the theme of this is you play as a doctor on a futuristic space station, and you wake up from a cryogenic sleep. Unable to remember what happened, you piece together the clues as to what happened to the person you try to save from a deadly disease. There's some fun futuristic music without being too distracting. One of the things that I did notice that was hard about playing the game, luckily I'm not colorblind, but there is a lot of clues, specifically in red blood, that people might miss, and it's also a little bit gory. The puzzles for this one are pretty generic, nothing felt quite unique, a lot of simple math, and it also has one of my pet peeves when it comes to escape room games, is adding a chess puzzle in there. I don't know anything about chess, and I refuse to learn. Maybe out of spite. I have not decided why. I think it also just does not stick in my brain is mainly the issue, I'm going to say. And so, if you need to know outside knowledge for an escape room, it's not going to be a smooth escape room, let me tell you. I felt like it was a little bit odd having your character have a voice, because when it comes to escape rooms, you kind of want to immerse yourself into whatever is going on. Having simple dialogue at the bottom that you read in your own voice really gets you into the mindset of what is going on? How do I get out of here? The graphics are actually really good. I was pleasantly surprised. I know that they used a lot of pre-made stuff, but the way that they are able to smoothly put it together with both the puzzles and the environment really was top-notch. I really enjoyed the plot of this, and there are definitely some creepy undertones. The next in their series is called Tested on Humans, and this was released February 2021. This playtime was a little over 3 hours for me. And let me tell you, I'm taking these at my slow, easy pace. I'm not in any rush, even though, yes, it is an escape room. I don't want to rush myself. For the theme of this, you play as an inmate of a psychiatric hospital, and you wake up in a cell and are completely alone. You solve puzzles to find out what happened to you and your peers. The puzzles are definitely a little fresher in this one. It does rely a little bit more on math puzzles, and some of them are pretty frustrating with very little reward. They finally started implementing clues, and a lot of the clues are actually way more confusing than trying to just figure it out on your own. I enjoyed this one a lot more than their first one, and just keep in mind that this is a pretty bloody game, and there are a lot of references to mental illness if those are squicks or triggers for you at all. The next game is Between Time. This was released September 2021, and the playtime is about 5 hours. You play as a cocky treasure hunter who has broken into a facility that has successfully built a time machine. You then travel through time to retrieve some priceless relics. One of the things that I really loved about this is that the music theme does change from location to location, just a neat little thing. There are a lot more unique puzzles. I only had a few that I had a little bit of a difficult time on, and I felt like the designers really understood a little bit more of the flow when creating the puzzles, and the clues were much more straightforward when you're trying to decide what to do next. This is the one game out of all of them that I felt like having a character voice made the most sense, because this guy's a real jerk, and it really plays into the overall story, and I won't spoil anything, but there is definitely a twist ending that I loved. The next in the series, Regular Factory, which released April 2022, and the playtime was about 4.5 hours. For this one, you play a typical night shift worker in a factory. After getting the machines ready, you find something come out of the machine that definitely shouldn't be there. I really loved the multi-layered puzzles in this one. So this was my favorite of the bundle. And while the overall theme of the game wasn't my favorite, there's a really fun twist, and the gameplay overall is a lot of fun. There are slight horror elements to this one. And this is another one I didn't feel like having a character voice made a lot of sense. I felt like the ending would have felt a lot more impactful if it was read in your own voice as well. The last in the bundle is Mystic Academy, and this was released June 2023. The playtime was 3.5 hours, so actually shorter than the other two. The theme of this is you play as a wizarding student about to complete his final exams. Solving mysterious puzzles left from the professor in each room seems like the only way to pass the test. This game was definitely the most thematic, and there were a lot of fun puzzles with each one. Like, a lot of the other games in the bundle felt like there were puzzles that really made no sense for them to be there, which is going to be the same for a lot of escape room games. It's like, why are we completing puzzles to get out of this room? That's just how it is. Whereas for this one, since there was tests involved, and all of them were related to potions and spells, etc., it really was a lot of fun to play through. This also did feel less like an escape room compared to the other ones because you were completing tests that were part of the story. I feel like one of the reasons why this game also was shorter than the other ones was the puzzles and clues were so much more intuitive than the other games. So I had a lot less time staring at a page being like, what am I
What am I missing here? What have I done?
Overall, I am really impressed with the games and how quickly they're releasing them considering how small their team is. The graphics are amazing. They have sound cues that are really satisfying when you complete something. Just that nice little click. There are a couple issues that I had where, luckily, I'm not colorblind, but I could definitely see colorblindness issues while playing through. There are a lot of red clues in particular, and I definitely even missed some things. If you're interested in checking out any of these games, they are available on Steam and the Nintendo Switch. The next game that they have available is called Pyramids and Aliens, which is supposed to release October of this year. Until next time, when one door closes, another void opens. Check out our website, immersivexps.com, to join our free Ko-fi, which will have visuals and additional content of the immersive experiences discussed in each episode. If you are an immersive experience artist or creator, no matter how small, consider contacting us so you can take part on a future podcast. This podcast is recorded and produced by SoCal Podcast Studio in Orange County. Thanks for listening.